So my name's Sally West, and I've been painting since as a child. So that means I've been painting for 29 years. Yeah. I went to boarding school when I was 12, and up until that point I don't think I'd ever touched a paintbrush, but we had art and we were all given an art kit, and I just really found it natural and became quite obsessed about it. But it was just, an exciting new thing to try. It wasn't like I dreamt of becoming an artist or anything. But I didn't think I'd be able to earn an income, so I always subsidised the painting with other work. Yeah, so now it is how I make my living, and it's really a surprise actually, and a great thing. Inspiration comes from, the inspiration comes from my environment, whether it be the landscape or the people in that environment. I'm really fascinated by the urban scene, the cityscape, because I think it is still a novelty to me because I grew up in the bush. Yeah, that's where it comes from. So to choose a subject each day, I try to paint most days, and so I have options. So plein air is my preferred subject, which is outdoor painting. But if it's windy or raining, then I choose either still life in the studio, or I'll work from photographs of street scenes, or I work on portraits. So it's all driven by the weather, really. That's really hard. I mean, there's so many artists. Of course, the classic painters like Van Gogh, who paints outdoors, I've always wondered what his systems were. How did he carry his gear? And other painters like Ben Quilty, I love his really broad strokes. And like Brett Whiteley, I loved his study of water and the human form. And, I could go on and on. There's so many inspiring artists every day, even now it's on Instagram, and there's just like photographers and painters from all over the world that are really interesting and we have access to, so it's hard to process it all actually, but it's all inspiring. The style came about accidentally, really. Like, I started painting seriously and full-time virtually from the age of about 20. So after several years of living in Sydney and painting in my lounge room, I really wanted to have my own space, so I moved to Berry on the south coast and rented a little house on 30 acres and just painted and painted and painted. And then after a while I ran out of brushes. They just all became hard and the bristles wore down, so there's no art supplies shop there, so I just found a palette knife and just started working with that, and because that's all there was. And suddenly the paint, because it's easier to load paint onto a palette knife, that's how the texture came into the work. And then I don't think I've really used a brush since, so, and the style has just evolved a lot. Well, I've become a lot more used to it, and it's just a part of being an artist, and you're told from, you earn respect by getting into these art prizes, but feels like a lifetime of rejection before you get into one. And then once you're in, it feels like, you're sort of in this circle, and then the more you get in, and it's rejection's hard, but I think it's in everything. But it's not. It doesn't mean you're going to stop painting. So I still get rejected a lot, but I tell myself, well, it doesn't matter because this is what I do, and whether you get in or not, tomorrow I'm still going to turn up and go painting. So, well, as I was driving over here, I was thinking this is a really hard thing for me to do, to come and be interviewed. But I thought it's all part of challenging yourself. When I started, I used to work down at the Circular Quay and paint portraits, and at $20 a portrait, just sketches and things like that. And that was probably the most challenging thing I've ever done, but it really helped me put myself out of my comfort zone, taught me to be a little bit more sociable because I'm a bit of a hermit, and a bit more confidence in what I'm doing. So I was thinking about that and thinking about this interview and thinking, in the future, I just want to keep challenging myself. It's easy to get used to it, but I don't want to get stuck in a pattern, and I just want to keep pushing what I'm doing into somewhere else. That's the plan.